Hello everyone, so it's 19th of October, it's Monday, and I'm here to talk about what I've been reading. Thing is, I have so many things to talk about that I need to do this fast, so this video isn't too long. To start, the first thing, this book is Cursed, The Son of the Shadows by Juliet Marie. I'm still going through this, and that's a me problem. The book so far amazing, the writing amazing. I'm very intrigued what's gonna happen, but it's totally a me thing, because this has one problem, that it's one of my pet peeves, that it has the main character, the female main character is one of those it's one of those kids that was so sheltered and lived the life that was so good for her, that she basically is very judging and more has her morals and her principles, and she is like, she only judges things by her lenses. And now the thing is, this is it's a good portrait of that type of character that has married. Me myself hate those characters, completely hate, like I can't, because usually what happens when they appear is that they are, I know what is supposed to happen. She's supposed to grow, to see that there are different things in life. Things are not like black and white, there's some gray, there's some reasons why people do things that are not, that she may consider bad or evil, lots of things that she has to learn in her journey. Now, usually what happens with this type of characters, and I see it's probably happening already, is that they put that character, let's say like the goody two-shoes character, against chaotic, like morally grey character. There's leaning towards the darkness, but you know that it's not quite bad, and make them clash. What it's supposed to happen on a good narrative is that both characters would learn with the others and they would meet in the middle. What usually happens is that the goody two-shoes grabs the other one, completely steers towards the light, makes the other character good, and like the other character ends up having to go through some kind of penance or some punishment for the things that they did, because they now regret everything in life. And the goody two-shoes usually doesn't learn anything from it, and it just infuriates me so much. So that's why I'm taking so long with this book. The thing is, so far things are going good. I'm starting to see that the character that it's breaking is the chaotic grey one and not the goody two-shoes, and that is picking me, and it's just but yeah, still doing with this one. I'm reading this one very, very slowly because of that. To be fair, the first one, the protagonist had the same kind of thing going on, but she did grow much more than this one. She was much more accepting, and I think that she wasn't as bad in the beginning. She didn't know, she basically, I think she had almost the same, oh, my phone has, I'm so professional, I'm taking up this shut up. Okay, I think the protagonist from the first book, that is the mother of this one, had almost the same base of education and growing that this one and was a little bit more accepting. And I think that with the things that her mother passed, this girl should be a little bit more accepting than she is. So if the roles were inverted, if the mother, the first character, was the one that was so goody two shoes for her people and her point of view, would make even more sense. I would excuse it more than this one, but it's also understandable that this one is like it is. But hey, I'm grappling still with this one. The other books I read, I'm looking everywhere because I have books on my Kindle, books there, it's a mess. But the other book I read, while this is turning on, let's see that one, was Remarkable Creatures from Tracy Chevalier. I heard it, I took it from Open Office and then heard it while I was working and finished it today. Yes, today. This is basically the life of Mary Anning, who was one lady that lived, I want to say Victorian era or a little bit before that. I'm not completely sure of the time at the moment, and I don't want to go look at it because this is just a mess at the moment. But she looked a lot, she found fossils and what they call curies on the beach, and it's her story, how she found things, what happened, other people that she met and interacted, and most people on this book actually lived, actually existed. Now, I really enjoyed this book, but I know that if you know more about her story, I didn't know when I started it, but if you do know more about her story, you're gonna see that this is not a very in-depth thing, in-depth story. It's, if you read probably her wiki page, you got as much information. But the thing is, if you don't know much about her, I would say read this book first and then go to other books instead of reading the wiki page, because it's more entertaining than the wiki page is normally on. And I like the writing of Tracy Chevalier. I'm totally partial to that, so it was a 4-star read for me. I would like to have seen more of Mary Anning feelings portrayed. We spend a lot of time with other characters. I'd like to see more of her. Would like to have seen more of her through the book. But still, very entertaining and very nice read. The other book, I've been looking at my Kindle, I'm completely sorry. The other book that I DNF'd, I don't know how good you guys can, you can actually see. It's black and white, but you can see the cover. It's Dark Secret by Danielle Rose, and correct myself, I didn't read this one, I DNF'd it. This is about a witch that has like prophetic powers, and she sees that something bad is gonna happen, and also on her city there's like a vampire problem, and she hunts vampires because she thinks that they are connected with that problem that's gonna emerge. And I was like, vampires, witches, especially witches, I'm up to it. But the writing it's not good. So I don't want to be bashing, I don't want my videos to be bashing bad books. Let's just say that this person actually had some good ideas, needs to work her writing style, and the amount of information that she put, because she follows the Wiccan and pagan traditions, and she puts way too much information in this, and the fighting is also very, 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 very detailed, and not in a good way. You get lost in all of those details. It's not fluid. it needs to be working in. To be fair, I got this as one of the Amazon free books. I don't know if it's still free, but if you guys wanna check it out, that's the name. Now next, I didn't have another book. How many books have I told already? Yeah, this is not going good, isn't it, guys? It's not. I didn't have The Near Witch by V. Schwab. Again, the writing style, not good. I think this is one of V. Schwab's early books that I think that resurged now that she's into fame. Not good. Again, I started reading this because Witch, I see things about Witch, I don't even need to know what they are about. I just pick them and start reading it. Nah, not good. I mean, I was reading it and I got it on Open Library too. I was listening to it, and I do listen to things while I'm working, to be honest, but my work is illustration. It's mindless. I don't need to think. I just need to color and the lines and the ink. So it's not one of those jobs that you can say that you don't have your full attention on the book, because if I'm not listening to someone while I'm doing this, I would have gone, my brain would have shrinked by the hours that I spend on this mindless work. So I can put all my attention on the audiobook while I'm in. And even when all my attention to it, I got lost because I wouldn't know where exactly in the world we were, in the village that this passes. And I know this is also about Witch, the Witch of the Near. There is this girl that lives on the Near village. There's two witches and a stranger appears, and she and most of the village thinks that the stranger that is going around is somehow connected with the old ladies, that everyone seems to know that they are witches but do not acknowledge it in a way. And it's all about that stranger, and yeah. I mean, I would get lost on like that little village. That's literally how does that happen? You know what I mean? So the writing not so good, the dialogue not so good, and I just DNF'd it too. And I think that's all the books that I have to talk about. Did I not read anything more? I thought there was another book that I had read that we had to talk about, but maybe not. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I also started, since I DNF'd that one, and I was checking my Goodreads, I'm sorry, and that was, The Near Witch was like the book that I was supposed to be reading during my work hours today. I started World War Z. Now, this is zombies. This is like with reports and interviews and all of that. You guys know the drill. This is a famous book. But this is way too close to a global pandemic sometimes. And I was just like, should I have started watching this already? Not sure. But I'm having fun with it. Not exactly the perfect read for me so far, but I'm having fun with it. And I'm gonna finish this video now, because this is way too long, and then when I go through the week and add more parts, this video is going to be way longer. So I'm gonna just shut up, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye bye. Okay, third attempt to just film this update. This is the second update. It's the 21st of October and it's Wednesday, and I'm gonna be as quick as I can because I need to get back to work. I did went yesterday to the library, got some books, all Portuguese books, and I think most of them, if not all of them, are Dutch. The first one that I read shortly it is a slim volume of poetry, contemporary poetry, that is written by a person that you may or may not know, it's the Fernando Ribeiro, the vocalist of a band that I think that it is well-known outside of Portugal, or at least somehow well-known. The band is called Moonspelled, and this is in Portuguese and does not have translation in English, but the title can be translated to How to Dig an Abysm, and this is the cover. I mean, nothing amazing, but it's a slime volume of poetry. Now, I totally do not enjoy this. I do not understand what most of the things were that the person was trying to talk to. I think he was trying to make himself look like a cultured person. I totally believe that he is an intelligent man and love cultured, but this sounded presumptuous. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but when you try to make yourself look like very intellectual person, or at least very intelligent, and by the language and the terms that were used that invoked the image of a behind of the image of a behind of a very fat pig, let's put it like this. I think it is supposed to be kind of a commentary to some people on the society, people in power, in some occasions. I do not know. You should be able to, anyone should be able to grab a volume of poetry and just understand what's there. Even it's a thing, and this is not good. Period. It's really not good. Second book that I read, it is it's something that I'm not even gonna go much into it because it's literally called Victorian Embroidery. I'm looking at my Goodreads, and it's by Robin MacDonald. This is literally a book about embroidery and giving illustrations and photographs of the end results, how to clean it, how to frame it, how to maintain it, uses, pictures, instructions on how to do it. If you like embroidery and if you like the Victorian, it is a good book, but you do have to know your embroidery. You do have to have already some skills because you have the sketches, and the instructions aren't that detailed, are not like for people that are just beginning embroidery. So it's a book I read because I'm weird like that sometimes. Second book I read, not a bad book. I was hoping that I would like it more. It is World War Z by Max Brooks. I give it 3 stars. Also, this was a 1 star if you are wondering, and the other one was 4 stars. I gave it 3 stars to this one just because I did like the format. I like that format of books. I do love tennis files books. But some passages were very boring because they are very political. Now, this is a meeting. I'm not a very political person. Especially not on the politics of today. I know I should be, and I do make an effort to know most of the politics, or at least the gist of the politics of my country and some of what's going outside, especially on the big countries. But I do not want much of it on my reading, unless it's like medieval politics or history politics, because they're just marriages most of the time and you're fine, or like who is going to kill who to get an advancement in their lives. So you got my point there. But like the writing, like the ideas, and again my phone, because people cannot live without me. I'm gonna do very professional. I'm gonna take out the sound there. Continue, because I do not have much time today. Where was I? Do like the writing, do like the style. Some parts were boring, but I did really like the parts that were like more about individuals, like Utako guy in Japan, or a pilot, a military pilot that crashed and what happened. Those little parts, I really enjoyed it, and I would have liked the book more if it had more of that. Again, that's a me thing. I also think that it was, they were going for like, I do understand what they were trying to make it almost believable, and like a case of, if this happens, this is how it's going to be, or how it could be managed. So it wouldn't have to have all the politics, probably even more. If it was a real case, it would probably have more politics in it. But you got my meaning. Again, still a nice book. This one and the Victorian one I got on the open library, as I did with the last one. Another dud. I do not know why I did this to myself, but I do. Or I do know why I'm doing this to myself, because it's a Jane Eyre prestige or pastiche. How do you say it? Pastiche or prestige? Again, it's something that somebody wrote not about Jane Eyre, after Jane Eyre, in the same world. It's called Adèle by Emma Tennant, and it is the story of Adèle since she was in Paris and Rochester went there to get her, or to meet her, and then she came into the house, meeting Jane, her views on the wedding and everything that happened, and then her life after it. If you like Jane Eyre, please not read this. This is not good. I thoroughly believe that the person, the writer, she is not a bad writer. I would enjoy the writing style if it wasn't for my inner Jane Eyre fun girl crying inside of me and screaming. The writing I have no problems with, but if you do enjoy Jane Eyre, do not do this to yourself. Do not read this. This is 1-star read for me. I'm just like, no. Also, just not to end on a bad note. I mean, it's going to be kind of a bad note for me. Just to show you guys, I got 2 more books on the library, because I got the warning that I had to take the books that I had back to the library, because my time with them has ended. So The Son of the Shadows, the cursed book, is now in the library, and I'm gonna have to go get it in a couple of days again. But that's another adventure. I'm still up to reading that book and finishing that book and fighting with it in this month. It's still gonna happen. But I picked some other theme books while I was waiting. I do not think any of this has English translation, so I'm just gonna show them real quick. One of them is called, it's about Pedro and Inês, the infinite love of Pedro and Inês, and it's written by Louise Rosa. This is a historical romance of the king. Well, he was still not a king when this happened, but let's say the King Pedro. Portuguese king with did he get to be king? Yeah, he got to be a king. See, this is how bad I am at this time with Portuguese history. But yeah, I got to be king. With Inês, she was a hen. How do you say those ladies? Lady in waiting, I think. Those ladies that are on the court just doing those chores that ladies that are in the court doing, like sewing with other. You guys know what I mean. They serve as furniture sometimes because they are just standing there sometimes looking pretty. But I know that they attend to the ladies on the court. But it was a forbidden romance, and I will talk more about it after I read it, because I do need to freshen up on the names and the other people involved. It was something that happened and it ended badly, and I'll talk more about this later. But I already learned words. I already read the first page and I do not like the writing style, or I think I do not like, and I already saw problems in like a way you start a story and you work a story from the point of view of someone. But I will debate this. I will talk more about this later. This is the only one that I think that may have English translation, but I'm not quite sure, and I don't think it has. This next one, I already know it doesn't. And let me tell you, first, this is supposed to be about the Princess Maria. She was the youngest, I think, youngest daughter of Dom Manuel, Portuguese king. Can we look at the cover just a minute? I mean, her portrait, amazing, really good choice. Lettering. Who was the designer of this book? Because this is awful. In this, it's very big on the format, but very thin book, and it's heavily annotated. There is some pages here that are just annotations, basically. So the annotations start here. Same thing on the other side. Start around here. Oh, the lighting just poofed. Come back, son. You are forgiven. Also started to read this one. Didn't read much. This is supposed to be her life, but it's basically a collection of citations of the other authors. This is looking as the research. This is looking as a good research, but this should be the research that a writer would use to do a book for people to read, enjoy, and learn. This should not be the book out there. This is literally the research. At the end, like a good portion, I'll show you, a good portion of the very thin book is literally how do you say this, like, this is just lists of the people that were serving her, and then there is a huge biography that again, these notes were already biography notes. This is not here to extrapolate or to explain anything on the text. These notes are basically here to tell where the author took the information. So you have the biography 2 times, and there is even some quotations of the phrases that he quoted on this book. They are in French. I'm not sure if some aren't Italian, not completely sure, and Spanish, and they have no translation. Now, I'm okay with some little French. I'm totally okay with Spanish, but this is supposed to be a Portuguese book that should be translated, and this is 500. She lived from 521 from 521. I'm good. I'm my head isn't working. 1521 and 1577. So the quotations that he gets is from there beyond, so it's different Spanish from what we talk today, different Portuguese even that what we talk today, different French. So you got my point, right? This is literally the research that a good writer need to do a good biography of the Princess Maria. I'm still gonna read it, and I'm gonna, again, I'm sorry, but this is only Portuguese. I'm still gonna read it and still gonna let you guys know if it is as bad as it looks by like the 10 pages I already read. but I did saw that there are more biographies of this figure, so I'm gonna try to find it. I'm gonna try to get it next time I got there, and maybe they are already also in English, and that we can have a better talk about it than this. And I'm gonna end because this is already going too long, and I do need to go back to my life. So maybe I'm even gonna do 2 more updates instead of 1, because I have been reading more books and I do not want like updates to be too big. So I'm just gonna shut up now and see you guys next time. Hello again, guys. It is the same day because I already have news for you. I'm looking over there because I'm seeing my cat Sakura. Say hello. Do you want to say hello to the people? Come. Oh, here she is. This is my little one, Sakura. Look at the people. No? Well, she's seeing something and she wants to play, so she probably won't be here with us for long, I think. So, the updates. The 2 other books that I got from the library. The Love of Pedro and Inês. I DNF'd this one because it was so badly written that I went up to page... It was really early, page 18. I got to page 18 and I was lost. This started as the king, Pedro, talking about the time after her death, and then he just started giving his autobiography, like who is his parents, who did he marry. If he was the king, first, who is he talking to? If he was the king, he wouldn't be giving that presentation because he would be the king. People would know. If it was his diary or a letter of some kind to a friend, he wouldn't be doing that. So it was just weird. And then it stopped being the king talking to be some kind of narration that it was just so messy because it jumped from place to place. We were talking about the Templars because the Templars ended, but here in Portugal they didn't end, and then we're talking about the previous king, the grandfather of Dom Pedro, and then we were talking about what looked like, I don't even know, I am so lost that I cannot even tell you exactly what happened on those pages. So I was just like, no, I'm not going to do this myself. To be like, the history of Pedro and Inês is actually a good one, and I only know the myth, the legend, the romantic history of it. I really want to find out a book that explores the real story because there's probably much more interesting, to be fair. The myth is that the king, Dom Pedro, it has to be before he got married with the king, Dona Constança, had a lover who was supposed to be Inês, but he could not marry with her because he's a king, he was a prince up to be a king. That's I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry, he was still a prince when he met her, wanted to marry her, and his father, the king, was like, no, you are not gonna marry her. So he had her as a lover and had 2 kids with her. At least one was a male, a boy. And he so wanted to marry her that the king was like, I'm just gonna get rid of her and send her to be killed, and she's supposed to have died in a place in Coimbra where you can still see her blood. Of course, it's not her blood, but you can still see her blood on the stones. And the king, the prince, was so mad that he couldn't kill his own father because of it. So he went after the 2 assassins that his father had got to kill Inês. So he went after them, found her, and killed them. He killed one by taking his heart off his chest by the front, and the other doing the same thing but by the back. I bet there are probably easier ways to kill a human being than to be opening this just. But still, that's the myth. And then he got her body and married with her and made her a queen when he got to be king, had a coronation and made her like we apparently supposedly have a queen that was dead, was a corpse. We have a corpse queen. It's not really a thing, but it's the myth, the legend. I really want to. Oh my god, I'm so shining. Is this on? Okay. I really want to find out the real story, but that was what I was. Well, this is is fiction. I wasn't expecting to have here the real story, but I was expecting to have more details that then made me go after more. No, this is not. This is definitely not it. This was bad. This one, as I told you guys just now, it's just research. We need we need a writer that can actually grab this and make a book. That's basically it. Because to be honest, if you are trying to reach, unless I'm totally off the spectrum of people that are supposed to read this, I don't think many people want to know about all the little details about her money, what she did with the money with her life. I mean, if you are going to study her, you probably want to. I don't care, and I don't care to know the names of all the servants. I'm looking around because cats. I'm sorry. I don't want to know the names of all the servants. There's just too much little. This is just a mess. Okay, this is just a mess. There was another book just next to it. I grabbed this one by chance. I could have grabbed the other one, and I think next time I went to the library, I'm gonna grab the other one. What I find out that I can actually, now that I look at it, can understand is that her mother of the princess Mary, or Maria in Portuguese, was Leonor of Habsburg. Habsburg. Is it, how do you say it, Habsburg? The one family with the lip and the chin that is very noticeable. And I mean, they say that she had the same full lip. Now this is a very flattering representation of her, but you can see still a little bit of the lip. I don't know if it is noticeable, but she does have especially the bottom lip pretty full. And I didn't know that we actually had, I mean, all of the European royalty, their cousins and brothers and sisters and a lot of a big messed up family, but I didn't know that we actually had that close of a relationship with that family. Apparently we had. And yeah, that's my update for now. I will probably book you Friday. Yeah, probably. So, see ya. Hi guys, very quick update. It's already Sunday. This should have been done yesterday. It's Sunday, day 24th. I already read one more book, and it's called Victorian Gardens, and it is written by John Hyston. This book is literally explaining how Victorian gardens were projected and planned, what they were all about, and how to create a garden in your house, in your space. It talks about the plants and how you can manage it. It has lots of tips, but I give it 4 stars. It was really nice. It had the information that I needed. I actually read this type of books not because I want to make a Victorian garden, because I do not have a space for that, but for me to understand why the gardens were like they were, because I'm a little bit obsessed with Victorian. So yeah, it gives us an idea of what they planned to do with the gardens, what they had in mind as a space, as a space that is for living, but is also supposed to look good. It's supposed to, again, my phone. People do not shut up. And yeah, basically, I don't even know where my phone is to shut you. Okay, it's here. So yeah, it's basically that. I hope you enjoyed this very crazy week wrap up. I was going to do this yesterday, but I couldn't because my old lady had to go to the vet. It was a very messy day, and I'm just gonna cobble this all together and try to put this up if my internet lets me. Try to upload this today. So this is it, and I hope next week is a little bit less hectic. So see you soon.